Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't try at anything, so I'ma just keep buying.
Hello, hi. I made myself a nice little mocktail using my favorite non-alcoholic liquor, Ritual. I usually use tequila, but I'm all out of the tequila, so I use the rum, and it's just as good. Margaritas are my jam. I wanted to get a little cozy. I wanted to talk about kind of the things that I did to help start to change my relationship with my body for the better, and maybe offer some guidance on if it'll kind of help you do the same. So I want to start by saying I feel like my true journey with my body and improving my relationship with it hasn't really started and gotten into the nitty-gritty until this year. This year I feel like was the most formative and changing of my mindset and of my relationship with my body. In 2020 and 2021, I thought that I had reached that point of improving my relationship with my body. But looking back, I realized I only felt that way because I was in the depths of working out almost every single day, tracking literally every single thing that went in my mouth. And as a result of that, losing weight and gaining a lot of accolades from people in my life, family, friends, and people on social media, because I was sharing everything to Instagram at that time. And so I was posting a lot about, it's sizes of clothes don't matter and love your body the way it is. And all of those things are 100% true, but it's also a heck of a lot easier to say those things and to feel those things when you're in a smaller body like I was. And when I say I was in a smaller body, I was probably about 40 to 50 pounds lighter than what I am now. I was on the right track back then with that line of thinking for sure, but this year really changed my relationship with my body for the better, because this year essentially my body and how I looked really took a backseat to everything else that was going on in my life, and I really wanted to improve my relationship with food more than anything else in the world. I began my intuitive eating journey, and as a result, I gained weight, and that brought with it a lot of mindset challenges for me in comparing my current body to what my body looked like 2 years ago. So I had to face the music on a lot of the internalized, subconscious, fat-phobic thoughts that I still had. And that was really hard to do. To be honest, I'm still kind of working through it, but I have such a healthier mindset now. I want to share with you kind of how I got to that point, because, as I've kind of alluded already, it's not from A to B. It's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, and then B. Like, you go through everything first, and then you finally get to where you think you want to be. And by the way, it's actually not even a destination. Like, you will never be able to stick a flagpole down and say, I've done it. I am 100% good with my body now. Because it's always going to be a journey, and we're always going to have those days and those feelings where it feels like we've been set back. But when we acknowledge it, acknowledging it alone shows that we haven't been set back at all. Also, just want to put a little disclosure out there. I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a personal trainer, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a therapist either. This is just my experience and the things that I've done that I feel really helped me. And if you feel lost or just really tired of feeling the way you feel about your body, this might help you too. The first thing that I did was I found a form of movement that I really enjoyed. I really enjoy running, so I started doing that. I really enjoyed lifting weights, which is something I never thought to do before because, typical diet mindset, I was afraid of getting bulky and big, but I realized I really enjoyed lifting weights. I really love boxing. There was a period of time where I really loved roller skating, even though I didn't do it that much, but I was just exploring all these different ways to move my body that I enjoyed for the sake of having fun with it, instead of thinking about burning calories or training for aesthetics or looking a certain way. As part of this, if I didn't feel like working out, I was not going to, because I had to release that mindset of discipline for a little bit, because if I kept going to the gym or kept working out when I didn't feel like working out, it was just reinforcing the mindset to me that working out was a punishment and that I didn't enjoy it. And so the minute I let myself skip a workout simply because I didn't want to, my brain started rewiring. And now I'm finally in a better mindset where if I want to skip a workout or don't feel like working out, I can push myself to do it without me associating it as a punishment. Because I know I always feel better afterwards, and I know that the forms of movement I do are always enjoyable and fun to me. That's something I feel like I personally had never heard anybody else say before or do before, but it was really, really critical for me in changing my entire mindset around working out and getting rid of the notion of discipline, you have to do it all the time, go hard, go home, just completely getting rid of that. The second thing I did was I released myself of all food restrictions. I stopped tracking my food every single day, every single little thing. I stopped doing that. And I started to allow myself to buy the things in grocery stores that I never used to allow myself to buy. Things like Oreos or cosmic brownies. I'm going to be honest, a lot of it are the types of food that we classify as junk foods, or that we grew up thinking were junk foods or bad foods. In reality, they're just less nutritious or just for enjoyment. And that's how I like to try to think of it now. But I allowed myself to start to buy those foods and keep them in the house. And I really, in the past, struggled with binge eating, and I still kind of have episodes now. That was something that I saw a dietitian that I follow recommend, was that keep the foods that you typically binge on in the house, or the foods that you never used to allow yourself to have. Keep them in the house, because that'll help you get rid of that scarcity mindset and will help you get rid of the thought that when they are here, you have to eat all of them. Which for me, that definitely helped. Knowing that I could get them if I wanted to, or if I could have an Oreo if I wanted to, really helped me not eat the whole entire thing anymore. That was a big, scary step for me, because I felt like I was failing, because initially I still binged on those things when I kept them in the house. And I still had way too many of them. And I still, initially when I released these food restrictions, I did eat not the most optimally nutritious that I could have. I thought I was failing. But that's the thing I think a lot of people are starting to spread now and let people know about intuitive eating, is that it's not going to be intuitive right away. It is going to be a lot of you're eating the less nutritious, previously off-limits foods that you used to eat, and then eventually your body will regain its cues and you'll start to crave more nutritious food like vegetables and fruit. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is finally starting to regain those cues. And it's taken me a whole entire year, and it can take you a whole entire year, or longer, or shorter. It just depends. Everybody's journey on that is their own. But in that process of releasing food restrictions, it also changed my relationship with my body, because I gained weight. And like I had mentioned previously, I had to face a lot of suppressed, subconscious, fat-phobic beliefs that I didn't know I had before. I had to kind of wrestle with that and be like, okay, why am I upset that I'm gaining weight? Why do I not like how I look right now? And the answer was always, because you're bigger. And so then I had to question, why is that my answer? What is inherently wrong with being bigger? Nothing. And I would remind myself I'm bigger because I'm improving my relationship with food. And that is way more important than anything. And I'm healing myself. And that is more important than anything. It made me realize really that how my body looks says nothing about my mental health, my internal health. And I started to become proud of my body because it meant I was healing myself. Because me having gained extra weight meant I was doing the work to heal a relationship that was really important to me. The third thing that I did, I mentioned this in my video where I went through like my body through the years and kind of my history and my journey, is I filled my social feeds with influencers and bodies of all sizes. All sizes. And I'll list all of the people I follow or down below in the description. It just really, really helped me logging onto my Instagram each day, seeing people that were having my same body type, people that were bigger, people that were smaller, and I genuinely believe and thought all of them were absolutely gorgeous, stunning and beautiful and confident. And seeing that really, really helped me because I would look and see all of these women are confident and loving their bodies and are beautiful and gorgeous. I can be that way too. I also started following people who were going through the same thing as me, who were also dealing with a body journey, who were also dealing with an eating journey and struggling with intuitive eating and binge eating, and people who had my shared experiences, because it made me feel like I wasn't alone, and it made me realize there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it really just helped me a lot. And I think that honestly was the biggest impact on my mental health, because I was on social media literally every single day. When I first started my account, I was posting to Instagram 3 times a day, every day. So logging in that many times every single day and seeing my feed full of people who looked nothing like me at all, that didn't help. Changing my feed to represent more diverse bodies, more inclusive bodies, it really just helped so much. The next thing I did, I've only really started to do recently within the past couple months. I would stand in front of a mirror, and I still do, and I would just kind of look at my body. Not necessarily in like admiration or hate or any kind of feeling, just like matter of fact, looking at my body, just acknowledging that it's there. And if any negative thoughts did come up, I would correct it with a factual or positive thought. So, for example, I have more stretch marks now, and I have new stretch marks on my stomach that I've never had before. And seeing those for the first time was really difficult to process. Now when I see them, I look at them, I acknowledge they're there, and I remind myself that they're there because of all of the progress I'm making on healing my relationship with food and healing myself. And if they go away someday, great. If they don't, that's also fine, because I know that those stretch marks in the grand scheme of things mean shit. They mean nothing. That's kind of what I mean as far as just looking and seeing if anything negative does come up, correcting it with the fact of like, no, that's there because of this, and that's okay. And that's helped. Another thing I did, and I've alluded to this in a lot of the other ones throughout this video, is challenge my own beliefs and my subconscious beliefs as well as those around me. This one is the most hard one, both conceptually and to put in action. It's really hard to challenge those beliefs when a lot of the people around you a lot of important people around you, like your family, still believe in them so much. And I'm talking about fat phobic beliefs, diet culture beliefs, beliefs surrounding certain types of food categories. It's really hard to challenge those enough within yourself, and then it's hard to challenge it within those others around you, because they will have a tendency to want to try to discredit what you're doing. And that is a really shitty, hard place to be in. When certain comments are made from friends or family, I am strong enough now to nip it in the butt and say, hey, that's not okay. Or call it out for what it is. Be like, hey, you just said this thing and it made me feel like you were shaming me for eating this. And that is exactly what I'm trying to improve in myself so that I don't pass it on to future generations. A lot of the times it's going to be met with backlash of, oh, that's not what I meant, that's not what I said, etc., etc. And that's okay, because I know I'm standing in my beliefs, and if they're not ready, then that's fine. But I did not always stand my ground. I mean, I recently, only in the past couple months, have I started to do that. Most of the time, I just kind of brushed it off, ignored it, moved on, whatever. I think that's a totally acceptable thing to do. If you ever do find yourself having, throughout this whole entire process of having these thoughts of being unhappy with your body, not comfortable, weed through those thoughts and try to figure out why it is you feel that way. Is it because your body genuinely just feels sluggish and bad? And if that's the case, then absolutely change something. Do something to make yourself feel better. But if it's anything having to do with looks, question why. I say question why because most of the time you will probably find that the reason why is nothing related to what you actually want. What I mean by that is when I first started gaining weight, I questioned myself, okay, why am I unhappy with how I look now? Because I've gained weight. Why is gaining weight the thing that's making me unhappy with how I look? Because I should be smaller. Why should I be smaller? Because that's how I was raised. Why was I raised? Because that's how everything was presented in the media. Because that's what attractiveness is. Because that's what the beauty standard is. So it's a whole chain of events, and it boils down to, well, do I actually believe that? Or is that just what I've been conditioned to believe? I'm gonna be honest, it's not a pleasant thought process to have with yourself or with others. So that's probably the hardest part. But, and this is where my last point comes in, the really, really big thing that has helped me was having a support person. And this was a person I could talk to about every single thing related to this. For me, that was my husband, and we've been together almost 8 years. He's seen me when I was in my most diet culture, eating disordered, workout disordered place, to now where I'm trying to improve all of that. And so he's the one person I can really talk to candidly about literally everything related to this. And he always is there and supports me and reassures me that I'm on the right path, and reaffirms that he loves me and he loves my body still, and which is another just internalized subconscious belief that we're taught, right? That our significant others will only love us if our bodies look a certain way. He just is very supportive and busting the myths and busting the subconscious beliefs I have. Having that person has been really great. Find who that person is in your life and try to lean on them a lot, because there will be a lot of times where you just need someone to talk to. If you don't have that person, I'm happy to be that person for you. If you need just someone to tell you you're doing great, you're doing great. This is hard stuff to work through. You really are doing great. That's my little spiel on how I started to change my relationship with my body, how you can start to change your relationship with your body in a more positive way, more neutral way, and just really acknowledge that your body is just the vessel for you to live your life. You shouldn't stop yourself from living your life at the end of the day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. You're doing fantastic. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. My body journey and body neutrality is a huge part of who I am, both personally and what I talk about on social media. I'm very passionate about it. It's very close to me. And I take these conversations seriously, and I know how big of an impact they can have. So thank you for letting me talk. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.